I got to tell you, out of everybody that Donald Trump has picked, the rock star of his cabinet is by far going to be Pam Bondi. Apparently, these Democrats have no idea what they're dealing with. And it's funny to me because, they're always the ones that are always screaming about women's rights, women get equal this, women get equal that. And yet they do absolutely nothing to help the cause of women. We have guys playing in female sports. Anybody can be anything, anywhere at any time. And it's funny to me that they really don't know what to do when they are faced with an incredibly strong, intelligent woman. They have no idea. They have no idea how to handle Pam Bondi. And she is not making it easy on them. So, during her Senate confirmation, she gets up there and she's going with Alex Padilla. I believe it's Padilla. I believe that's how you pronounce his name in the Senate. And he's asking her questions. And here's the thing about it. He's asking her questions, and it's always yes or no. It's a yes or no question. Well, it's not. Sometimes questions are not yes or no questions. Sometimes there has to be explanation, and he refuses to let her answer any of the questions. And he's refusing to let her answer because he will not like the answers. They're not the answers he's going to want to hear. So he's constantly cutting her off during this, and she smacks his ass right back down every time she does it. I'm telling you, this is the one to watch. This girl is going to be a freaking rock star. And I got to tell you, I would not be surprised to see her on the presidential ticket one day because she is no bullshit. She is all about the job at hand. And buddy, she is a bull. And this is fantastic. And before I start playing the video, I guess the thing that really irritates me about this is how many times you can go on YouTube right now and you will find hundreds of thousands of videos to where the Republicans have called Democrats into the chambers for questioning, and they never answer a single question. They dodge. And, especially when they were pulling in guys from the FBI and Secret Service, the number one answer we get is, I can't talk about that because it's an ongoing investigation, which is absolutely bullshit. That's just their way to, avoid having to answer the question. But when they pull the Democrats in, they never, ever answer questions. And then the Democrats get testy when the Republicans try to answer questions, and then they keep cutting them off. It's yes or no. It's yes or no. No, it's not. It's not simply yes or no. But you've got to see this video. I'm going to roll this. I am going to comment during the video because there's a couple of points that I have to make during this. It is right at an 8-minute video, so there is a lot to cover here. But this is absolutely amazing. And watch Pam Bondi get a hold of this guy and just tear him apart.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I begin, I just want to remind us all for the record that the 34 convictions, not indictments, convictions of former President, incoming President Trump were by a jury of his peers.
Before I go any further, like I said, there's a couple of comments I got to make. First off, that was not a jury of his peers. Let's be very clear about that. This was a BS criminal case brought against Trump in the bluest city in the bluest state in the country. Trump is a Republican. Trump is a billionaire. Trump is an ex-president. So tell me, how is this a jury of his peers? This is mind-boggling to me. This is like me being brought up on criminal charges and then us going to get 12 people from Venezuela to sit in the jury. That's not a jury of my peers. And it's the same thing that happened here. And this is the one thing that just really gets, this one just kind of pisses me off because they keep hammering this point home. And at no point was this a jury of Trump's peers.
Thank you, Ms. Bondi, for being here today. And I, too, would like to welcome your family and friends who are here.
Thank you.
Appreciated the opportunity to meet yesterday to learn about your priorities and discuss a number of issues that are important to me. But I got to tell you, as I reflected on our conversation yesterday and as I've observed the hearing today, I continue to have significant reservations on your ability to function as a truly independent Attorney General for your friend. Let's say you keep referring to him, your friend, President-elect Trump. So I hope you can address some of these concerns through your responses to my questions here. Now, the first issue area is something that we didn't get a chance to touch on yesterday. So I actually want to follow up on some of Senator Durbin's questions from earlier about the 2020 election. And to be specific, on the day after the 2020 presidential general election, you traveled to Philadelphia to appear alongside President Trump's then attorney, Rudy Giuliani. And together, you falsely asserted that President Trump had, quote, won Pennsylvania in that election. Now, I want to be clear. At that moment, there were still at least 1 million ballots left to be counted in Pennsylvania. Of course, President Biden went on to win the state by more than 80,000 votes. But in the following days, even after the results were clear, you continued to double down on the big lie, promoting falsehoods about election fraud and cheating without offering any actual evidence. And I remember it clearly because I served as California Secretary of State at the time, and I invited anybody associated with the Trump campaign who was making these claims to come forward with evidence of irregularities in the election or massive voter fraud. 4 years later, I still have seen none. So I ask you today, do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?
So, First Senator.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
First Senator.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
First Senator. First Senator. I'm so sorry about the fires to you and Senator Schiff and what you're going through in your states. I have to say that.
I
And
appreciate
think
that,
all
but
of
my
our-
clock is
I'll
ticking,
answer
and I
your
want to
question. All
hear
of our
your answer.
hearts go out to everyone in California for what you're facing right now. I'm glad you asked the question about Pennsylvania.
It's a yes or no question.
I was
Do
hoping
you have evidence,
someone
yes or
would.
no?
Senator, I was hoping you'd ask the question.
Do you have
Yes,
evidence, yes or no?
I traveled to Pennsylvania.
Do you have the evidence,
I
yes
traveled,
or no?
Senator, to Pennsylvania.
Okay, you're not answering my question. If you have no evidence to offer, let me ask you this. Will you now retract your previous statements that Trump won Pennsylvania in the 2020 election, yes or no?
Oh, Senator, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and let me tell you what I saw firsthand.
Yes or
no?
no?
I didn't talk about California because I was not in California. I talked about
Yes or no? Last time I'm going to ask.
I talked about Pennsylvania because
Mr.
I
Chair,
was there.
I'm going to move on because
You
she's
got a
clearly not
court
answering my
order
questions. And
to
I want to know,
observe.
colleagues, for everybody, members of the committee and everybody watching, that the attorney who stood beside Mr. Giuliani was making very similar statements. And he has since been disbarred from multiple jurisdictions for making these false claims about the 2020 election in court. And like Mr. Giuliani, as you've noted today, you've taken an oath to uphold the Constitution just as an attorney. And now you're asking us to consider you to serve as the chief law enforcement officer in our country. So it's imperative, Ms. Bondi, that you subscribe to facts and evidence and not politically convenient conspiracy theories.
Now, one thing I want to say here, and I find this interesting. First off, like I said, he won't let her answer what she saw in Pennsylvania. And let's be honest, we know in the 2020 election, there was some pretty shaky stuff going on. And if you don't believe that, then you're truly brainwashed. Because we saw, was it Virginia, where they were literally counting illegal votes in Virginia in the 2024 election? And then they had, then Trump was going, fine, let's go to court. Let's settle it there. And I hope to God, y'all remember that. And so you can't sit here and tell me that nothing was happening in Pennsylvania. But he refuses to let her answer the question because it's not going to be the answer he wants to hear. Because the only thing he wants to hear is no. Because then it furthers his narrative and the Democrats' narrative. So he refuses to let her answer, in which he does not. Through the rest of this, he refuses to let her answer. But it's awful funny that he's coming into question, the fact that she's an attorney and that, because of what she believes she saw, which I wasn't there, so I don't know. But he's going to bring into question, how can I support you for attorney general, being that you're an attorney and the things that you believe? And I can easily turn around and say, okay, then how could you all support Kamala Harris to be vice president, being that she's an attorney and believing the things that she believes? And this is the Democrat double standard right here. If it's a Republican, then if you have a Republican and a Democrat and they do the same wrong thing, they break the same law, somehow they will support the Democrat and brush it off. Well, it had to happen. It's justified. While they persecute the Republican for doing the same exact thing. And this is their double standard. He has a hard time putting Pam Bondi up, who has an exemplary record as the AG in Florida. Fantastic record. She is as good as AGs come. And yet he had no problem with Kamala Harris being the VP, who is literally one of the worst AGs they had in California. Absolutely amazing to me.
Your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then we'll move on to a different topic. 'Cause I know
Senator,
that's one
you were
that you're obviously
speaking.
not comfortable
May
with.
I speak? You
I
cut
want
me
to ask
off
you the
when I
next
was
question.
speaking.
You can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi.
Well, I'd
now,
like
when
to
we met
answer
yesterday,
the previous one, Senator.
when we met yesterday,
You pointed your finger at me and
you
said
did not
you were
seem
speaking.
to be familiar
Let me answer
with
my question.
the
I'm not going to be
citizenship
bullied by you,
clause, the
Senator
14th
Padilla.
Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you
And I'm
didn't want to
hoping you're
hear
more
my
familiar
answer
with it
about
today
Pennsylvania.
after I gave an opportunity to study overnight.
No, he doesn't want to hear your answer because it doesn't fit his narrative. Because, and I've said this 1,000 times, Democrats don't care about truth. They don't care about facts. All they care about is their narrative. And if you don't, I mean, Jesus, just look over the last 8, 12 years, everything that's gone on, and especially with the liberal networks who have spread lie after lie after lie after lie because it fits their narrative. And, you know, the people over at MSNBC and CNN, I mean, they're the absolute worst. You remember the whole, you know, if you get the shot, you cannot catch COVID, and how hard they pushed that narrative? That ended up being a total lie. If you wear a mask, you can't spread COVID. How hard they pushed that narrative? That ended up being a total lie. How about nobody's being censored on Twitter or Facebook? And then all of a sudden, Elon Musk comes forth, and now Mark Zuckerberg coming forth? That ended up being a total lie because all they do is push their narrative. They don't care about facts. They do not care about truth.
Can you tell me and this committee what the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed as
You're
Attorney
the one
General,
asking for a confirmation,
hey.
though.
I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework. This is just absolute. This is Pam Bondi right here at her best. I mean, she is an absolute beast. And I love the way that she won't let them bully her and push her around, and how she's so quick to snap back at them when they start to try to bully her. And at the very end of this video, right when it starts to roll the credits, listen to the last statement she says right at the very end. I think we still got about 2 minutes left of this, but listen at the very, very end what she says.
Cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment, we all know, addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
So on the...
That's why I love Pam Bondi. She is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, she's going to be the best AG we've ever had, man. This girl is absolutely no bullshit. And she is going to be the rock star of the Republican Party. You wait and see.
14th Amendment. Now, you've testified repeatedly to this committee that you will uphold the laws of this country and defend the Constitution of the United States. Do you believe birthright citizenship is the law of the land, and will you defend it regardless of a child born in the United States, regardless of their parents' immigration status?
Senator, I will study birthright citizenship. I would love to meet with you regarding
Ma'am, you're
birthright
asking us to
citizenship. Can I
continue
answer
to
the
serve as the
question?
Attorney General of the United States, and you still need to study the 14th Amendment of the Constitution? That is not helping me have more confidence in your ability to do this job.
Okay, now, I'm not there, but I'm pretty sure that she's not saying she needs to study the 14th Amendment. I'm pretty sure, being that she's from Florida, she knows exactly what that is. I do think that there's going to be some changes in the laws that are going to come up, and that's what she's referring to. But before I roll the rest of this, I've got to say something, because what he's getting ready to start talking about is, you know, basically, do you believe that immigrants are killing America is basically what he's going to say. Are they, you know, poisoning America? And I don't agree with what's getting ready to happen here in the statement that he makes at all. And then after he makes a statement, I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain to you why I disagree with what he's saying.
One other immigration-related question, I'll steer clear of the Constitution
I have one
and the
regarding
law.
that I'd like to
Senator
talk about.
Hirona asked you earlier, but I don't think you answered her question. Can you please tell us, do you agree with the statement that immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, yes or no?
I did not say that.
I did not say that you said that. I'm asking if you agree with it, yes or no.
I did not.
Okay, now right here, sorry to cut this off again. But this is a slippery slope. But this is where the problem is. Okay, they're not immigrants; they're illegals. There is a difference. There is a huge difference. There is a huge difference. And I saw a Democrat made a statement the other day that people who come across our border and have children have the same rights, citizenships as people who came off the Mayflower and came here have children. That is the most dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. That is absolutely insanely stupid for somebody to make that statement. This is a whole different world from the time the Mayflower was coming over here. We are now a sovereign country with borders, which we were not when the Mayflower was coming over here. That was an absolutely ignorant, boneheaded statement that I heard somebody make. But immigrants are people who come here legally through the system. Illegals do not qualify for immigration status when you come over here illegally. I don't understand why the Democrats simply cannot wrap their brains around this. And I just put up the video of Chicago's railing back against ICE about the immigrants. And I'm going to say this again. These people are over there, well, we're here to protect our immigrants. We're here to protect our immigrants. They're not immigrants. They are illegals. They are criminals the moment they cross the border. If I go into a country illegally, what do you think's going to happen to me? I'm going to get arrested and instantly deported. Hell, if I sneak into Mexico, Mexico is going to send me back to America. Why is it we're the only country that seems to have this problem?
That.
Do you agree with it, yes
Senator,
or no?
my great-grandparents are immigrants.
Do you agree with it,
They
yes or no?
came here from Sicily
Do you agree
through
with it,
Ellis
yes or
Island
no?
when they were teenagers.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
Senator, let me answer the question.
Yes or no? It's
My
real simple.
great-grandparents came here, immigrated to this country from Sicily, recently went and found each of their birth certificates. We are a nation made up of immigrants. Do I believe immigrants are poisoning our country? No, Senator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I can't wait for the second round.
Same, Senator. Thank you.
Same. I can't wait till the second round either because I got some more things I need to say to you, moron. And this is just absolutely irritating that Alex Padilla, that he's refusing to let her answer any question whatsoever, like I said, because it doesn't fit his narrative. He's wanting a very cut and dry yes or no. And sometimes the answer is not yes or no. Because sometimes, I could say yes, but, or I could say no, but, and they refuse to let her get her butts out because they don't want to hear it. All they want to hear is that she's corrupt, Donald Trump's corrupt, and she's going to support her corrupt friend. That's all they want to hear. Here's the funny thing about it. It doesn't matter what they do. Trump's picks are going to get through. All of them is going to get through. And I think that Pam Bondi, is it today? She's actually getting sworn in today. So all their blowback and all their theater that the Democrats are creating, all their stalling that they're doing is done no good for anybody. It's literally not prevented one thing. Every one of Trump's picks have gotten through, as I believe every one of them will get through. We do have a couple of coming up that's going to be tough, and I think the toughest one is actually going to be Kennedy. I don't think Tulsi Gabbard's going to have that much of a problem. I think she's actually going to get through fairly easy, which is going to be fantastic, as she's going to be amazing at her position. I think Kennedy's going to be the hardest one, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to get through regardless. But I'm going to say before I get off here, the rock star of the Republican Party is going to be Pam Bondi. You mark my words. And it would shock me if I did not see her running for president sometime in the future. I think she is just an absolute bull in a china shop, and she is going to turn some things upside down, and the Democrats absolutely do not want that.